a few key times in a year where you feel the tide changing, the season turning, and it just feels like everything is ripe for change, whether you've asked for it or not. So going into this fall season has marked a change in our family as we have 2 children going back to school. Our family dynamics are shifting, our schedules are changing. Hugh Prather once said, "Just when I think I've learned the way to live, life changes." And I think we can all absolutely feel that. When we get too confident in what we're doing, God has a way of shaking things up. Children grow older, circumstances shift, and we find ourselves once again feeling like newbies, trying to figure it out. But like John Maxwell says, change is inevitable, growth is optional. So in today's video, I'd like to encourage you to not wallow in the hard that change sometimes brings, but to use it as a chance to start over, to troubleshoot, to improve. Because I'd like to read one more quote, which is from Winston Churchill. He says, "To improve is to change, and to be perfect is to change often." So if we want to try for perfection, I think change is just going to be a part of the roadmap. Day and welcome back to my channel. So it feels so good to say that again. I have not vlogged in a very long time. I mean, of course, every video has elements of vlogging in it, but there's always been like a central theme. Today's video is no different. There is a central theme. I'll tell you about that in just a second. But they say that art imitates life, and I try to make sure that my YouTube channel also imitates my life, because it is kind of my art form, and I don't want to just like pull a video out of nowhere because I think it's going to perform well. So basically, when I decide what video I want to film, I like to follow the trajectory of my life, and I just take you guys along for it. So for the last while, we've really been focusing on the renovation of my kitchen. If it feels like it was a big deal on my channel, it's because it was a big deal in our lives this summer. I'm really glad that it's kind of behind us and I can get to know my kitchen a little bit. Today I baked in my kitchen for the first time, so that was fun, trying to get to figure out all the angles for filming and that kind of thing. So today I made my first batch of pumpkin spice whipped topping. I've shared this before on my channel. I will put the recipe link down below. It's on my website and so many of you have used it, and the funnest part about it is that it's kind of like pink peach color. You see that? It's so pretty. And it tastes so good. I'm excited to try this on like some iced chai, because I think that would be amazing. But I wanted to just pop in here at the beginning of the video and let you know that this whole video, while it's kind of a vlog of the next 48 hours of my life, I really want to hone in and talk to you guys about our new routine and schedules. I had a whole bunch of questions about that now that my kids are back in school. If you're new to my channel, I have a 7, 6, 3, and 18-month-old. Today, in fact, we were at Walmart and I was coming out with all the kids just hanging on the cart like possums, and this older gentleman was like, "I would ask you what you do in your free time, but clearly you don't have any." And I chuckled to myself and I'm like, if only he knew. You know, it is amazing how much us moms get done in a day. So I moved my little office space out here into the sun porch just because it's such a beautiful day and I wanted to be by the sunshine. And I'm going to work on my laptop, and then Josh is gonna be home a little bit early, so I'm probably gonna make some time to go on a walk. We had Josh's truck get inspected, and so we used my brother's little beater vehicle, which they live really close to us, so I'll drive it back to them and then walk home, and that will be like just a nice fall walk. Anyway, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Megan Fox. It's so nice to meet you. Please introduce yourself down below. We are definitely eating supper outside tonight. It is so pretty. Oh my goodness, that walk was absolutely amazing. Not long enough. I would say if you are looking to get back into working out and exercising and having better, not workout, but like just even movement in general, having better habits with that, this is the best time of the year ever. So I would say I definitely have a goal of walking more this fall just because it is the prime season to put in miles. And I lost my Fitbit, I think at the pond back in June, and I waited all summer to see if I missed it, and I missed it pretty much every single day, mostly for the watch feature, because I'm not as crazy about tracking my steps as I was at one point. But yeah, I really missed it. So I got this off-brand. I used to always get Fitbit. This is not Fitbit. I'll link it down below. It was like $38 on sale. So we'll see. All I really need to do is be basically a pedometer and a clock. I don't even need it to have Wi-Fi capabilities, but this one does. It just arrived in the mail right as I got back from my walk. So I'm excited to put it on and try it out and see what features it has. Heart rate would be nice to have too. I think it has that. So if you have toddlers, I'd like to talk to you about how my 3-year-old is doing. He's almost 4, how he's doing now that he's the big kid at home, basically 5 days a week until the evening, you know. And it was hard when school started. I'm not gonna lie, he put his head in his hands and would cry that he had nobody to play with. But we made a bucket list. Okay, it's not a bucket list. A bucket list is like something you have to get done. This is more like a menu. So every day we try to do something fun together, and we have this whole menu of places we want to go, playgrounds to play at, places to walk, the bike bumps to go on. There's certain coffee shops I thought we could go to on a rainy day, indoor playgrounds, things that I would not maybe think to do with my bigger kids because it's just not as fun for them. So having 2 little kids only definitely does have some advantages, even though I'm mostly sad right now. It'll get easier as we go through the school year a little more. You always kind of just get used to it. But right now, it just feels pretty sad that my 6 and 7-year-old are gone most of the day. But they are thriving at school, and they love it, and they're growing so much. And I love their teachers. So that's very comforting for me. If you're new to my channel, my kids go to a private Christian Mennonite school in the area. So it very closely aligns with our beliefs. Not that we want to just delegate all the teaching and stuff to them. We want to also be a part, but they're helping us to educate our kids. So love that. But I don't know, if I can make up the schedule, it would be a lot different. My toddler, it's going better. He's definitely getting more independent and responsible. I'm learning that since I don't have a 6 or a 7-year-old to say, hey, go get this, go get that, help me with this. I can ask the 3-year-old for a lot of things. Like, he's pretty capable, honestly. So I think it's good sometimes if you have a toddler that's being overshadowed by the big kids to spend some time, even if you are a homeschool mom or whatever, but spend some focused time on not just assuming that your preschooler can't do something, but teach him and see if he can. You know, there's a lot of stuff he can do. He can unload the dish rack, although with our new kitchen, we're still all learning where everything new goes. But yeah, he can unload the dish rack. I have all the plates, cups, and spoons within reach for him, and he can help with the laundry. My 7-year-old, actually, now that school started, she is doing a load of laundry every evening. I taught her how to sort laundry, how to collect it all, how to start a load, what buttons to push, how to put the detergent in. We use like the little Blue Land tablets, so that makes it a lot easier, and she just put those in. But yeah, she is like on laundry duty every evening. She does 1 load. So that's another system we're trying out. But I've delegated giving the dog food and water to my 3-year-old rather than my 7-year-old, and just shuffled some things around. So my way of going about something new is to just go into it with 0 expectations, just kind of feel it out, see how it's going, and then make a plan or a chart or incentives, you know, for your kids. So I kind of waited till school started in August, and then on September 1st, we started our new systems, and yeah, so far so good, but they're bound to change. They always do. But yeah, there's a little challenge for you. Make a fun menu for your kids. I don't care what age they are and stuff, just to break up the doldrum of the day. I'm the type of mom that loves to go away every day, or just get out of the house at least. Not that we're necessarily driving somewhere, but we could go on a walk. You know, anything for a change of scenery. Like, it's a crime to be indoors when the weather is this nice. Like, get out there, do something outside. You know, streamline your homemaking a little bit so that you do have time to get outside and be outdoors. Because the neighbor lady the other day, Josh was talking to the neighbors. I'm like, I haven't seen the neighbor lady in so long. He's like, yeah, you're never outside. And I'm like, that is so true. So much of my work is indoors. So. Okay, we are so eating supper outside. It is beautiful out there. Luckily, I don't have to do much for supper besides whip out a card from my Green Chef box and decide what we want to eat for supper. Hey, what do you guys want for supper? What should I make tonight for the first one?
What? What is it?
Fletcher, you want to vote?
No.
You You want to vote on supper? Okay, so there's white bean chicken chili. We have barbecue pork meatloaves and cabbage apple slaw. We've had that one before. That one was good. Cranberry barbecue turkey burgers. Which one sounds the best?
I think personally this one.
The meatloaves? What do you think, Fletcher? Should we do meatloaves for tonight? Okay, sounds like the barbecue pork meatloaves and cabbage apple slaw it is. Lately, I've had a lot of mental logistics and planning and projects that I've had to deal with and just coordinating. A lot of mom life is coordinating. And so once in a while, I'll get a Green Chef box. It literally takes all the coordinating for those meals off of my plate. You literally have to give no forethought. You might need some butter or some oil. You have your pans already, salt and pepper. And other than that, you just go to town, follow the directions. There's step-by-step directions on the back. It's not only just getting meals to your door, but also kind of like a craft project and free meal planning for you all rolled into one. So there's a lot of different reasons to love Green Chef. And I right now have an amazing promotion for you guys from Green Chef since you are watching this video. I can't remember where I put my cheese grater. New kitchen problem. Here it is. Usually when you want to get a quick meal on the table, health is not always at the forefront of our mind. We're just trying to feed our families, get their bellies full. But with Green Chef, you don't have to sacrifice quality and healthy eating when you're in a pinch. Green Chef is the #1 meal delivery service for clean eating. Choose from 80+ weekly menu options to customize based on your needs across 8+ dietary preferences. We always get the family box, so we have plenty of food, and I think we're actually gonna be outgrowing that one pretty soon. We love their farmers market quality, their organic produce, and just the fun global flavors that I am probably not confident in cooking myself, but we always discover something new when we get a Green Chef box. Of course, their pre-prepped ingredients help me to get things on the table quickly, and I have to say, the weeks that have Green Chef coming are just better. So I hope you guys try them out. Right now, you can get 50% off. That's a really great deal. 50% off and free shipping on your first box, plus 20% off for 2 months. Head to greenchef.com or click on the link below and use the code 50meganfox to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first Green Chef box, plus 20% off for 2 months. Again, that code is 50meganfox at greenchef.com. Okay, this meal totally deserves a china plate and not a paper plate, but we're eating outside because just can't help it. Josh is mowing, the kids are covered in dirt. I don't know, I think they were having like a dirt battle, but this apple cabbage walnut salad is so good. I've been eating it as I'm cooking. What we were waiting on was the potato wedges, so let's try those. I'm gonna add a little coarse salt yet because it makes everything 10 out of 10. Okay, and the meatloaf has an amazing barbecue sauce on it. So let's see what we think. By the way, there's apples in this meatloaf. Isn't that crazy? Pretty good, pretty good. I don't make meatloaf like ever, so that's really good. Okay, I'm gonna take these plates outside and we'll have supper al fresco.
Let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for this day.
Miller, what do you think of that apple slaw?
Yum.
That's your favorite part. Yeah, even the baby is loving this meal. Funny thing, Josh's dad, for his birthday, said that his favorite birthday meal is meatloaf. He grew up with 17 brothers and sisters, and so they ate meatloaf a lot. Something tells me this is a little better than what he grew up with. Maybe not though. I mean, Mennonite cooking.
He was 18, but one died before he was born.
Oh, so he never met his one sibling.
I think there was a girl.
Yeah, this is definitely Vernon meatloaf approved. Oh my goodness, this baby is just like double fisting it. Here, use your fork, baby. Here. Here you go.
I can follow.
sitting here on my newly rehabbed window seat watching the sun come up, but now the sun is like just glaring too much, so I moved the camera over here. If you missed my dining room makeover video, you missed a lot, so go check that one out. Yeah, a lot of fun ideas in there, and I love how it turned out. But I wanted to start the discussion about getting my kids up in the morning and how I do that. So I mentioned that last year I would get the kids up and out the door in 15 minutes, and that was true. And the way that was possible was with lots of prep. So I pack lunches the night before. I actually pack lunches twice a week and batch pack. So I'll do 4 lunches at a time and then pack twice a week, and they get hot lunch 1 day a week. So that's kind of the rhythm we have. And then I make sure their papers are signed, their backpacks are ready to go, their jackets and their shoes, they're all lined up. We even set out my son's outfit the night before so he doesn't have to dig around for clothing and wake up his little brother, who he shares a room with. By the way, this is icy water. Don't get too excited. That's just one way I try to stay on top of things, make sure everything's done the night before, ready to go. When I'm putting the kitchen to bed at night, I kind of lay out all the school stuff. So yes, I go to bed with the kitchen not looking crazy pretty, but it's organized and ready to go the next morning. And then the kids will get dressed and they'll actually put their shoes on while they're eating their breakfast. So, and I can kind of help a little bit, but usually what I'm doing while they're eating breakfast is I will comb their hair. So that's all happening at the same time. And I don't know how I get them to eat breakfast, because I do know some of my friends and my cousin, she said that it's impossible to get her kids to eat breakfast in the morning, which I get. And I think if that was a problem for me, I would just send something with them on the bus. Our bus driver does allow them to eat on the bus. So as they woke up in the morning and the adrenaline started kicking in for the day, they would probably start feeling hungry and they could just eat something on the bus, like chocolate milk or a protein bar or something like that. But thankfully they do seem to eat. This morning we just had sausage, eggs, and toast. They're all of a sudden really into the easy over eggs with the runny yolks. I think yesterday when everybody was home, I fried like 9 eggs just for 4 kids. So that was crazy. Sometimes if we want to go over their Bible memory, I'll kind of just like quote it and say it out loud to them while they're eating their breakfast. So they're not really saying anything, but they're hearing it. So we like to be out ready for the bus 5 minutes before it's scheduled to come. So 5 minutes before that, I get them to brush their teeth and throw on their jacket. While they were eating, I will have combed their hair, threw their lunches into their lunch boxes, filled their water bottles, and got my one son his meds, and they're off and ready to go for the day. And we'll just go out and stand there and chit chat. I'll always pray with them. I had a prayer that I would say over my daughter, her first year in kindergarten, but since then I've decided to tailor it to the needs of the day. So we just pray out loud. I give them each a kiss. They still give their mother a kiss yet. And then the bus rolls up and off they go. And last year it would be about 15 minutes, but this year I decided there were some downsides to that. So I'm not saying I recommend getting them up 15 minutes before the bus. The reason I did that was because I felt like I had to. The bus came so early and I just wanted them to get every drop of sleep they could. And I wanted them to also learn how to be quick and efficient with their mornings, because the more time you give them, the more they will just fill it with goofing off. My first grader was all excited about his bear week, so he had to get his bear together and everything, but I made him do that the night before. But there's always snafus, like, oh, a paper forgot to get signed, or, you know, something like that. So I just plan for that kind of thing. And I would say now, I give my kids, instead of 15 minutes till the bus comes, I give them half an hour, just because other years there was just Evonnie, and then some days Evonnie and Fletcher. This year it's Evonnie and Fletcher every single morning, and I just feel like it's a nice way to catch up and talk to them in the morning. Not that they're super talky, but you know, I don't have to be telling them, eat your food, you know, on their case as much. And we will shorten it up a little bit as the year goes on, like 20, 25 minutes maybe, but right now the solid half hour is so nice. But it's not necessary. I'm telling you, if you need to get your kids up pretty early for the bus, you can probably whittle your time down a lot more than you think. Just try some of those methods that I shared. Okay, we're a week in, a whole week later in, and it actually is only taking us like 15, 20 minutes to get ready for the bus. So yeah, we're streamlining slowly. So let's talk breakfast yet really quickly. I myself, since the bus is coming later, have started getting up half an hour before them, just because I can. It gives me some time to do my morning routine and then actually cook them breakfast. But last year, I would sometimes get up 5 minutes before the kids, 10 minutes before the kids, quickly dress and comb, and then come downstairs and just prep a breakfast. Some quick breakfast options are parfaits. You just layer them in the bowl or the cup and you're good to go. Make ahead pancakes were always a hit, German pancakes, baked oatmeal, heat it up in the microwave and splash some milk on top of it. That was always a hit. egg waffles, making eggs in the waffle iron. That doesn't take long at all either. So cereal and milk if you really need to, although there's not as much protein in that, so I really try to steer away from that when I can, or just save it for special occasions. This year, having more time, I've often made eggs and toast and a protein, or pancakes and sausage, that kind of thing, but we're only so far into the school year. It's light out in the morning. We have that summer energy going on yet, so we'll see how it morphs in the winter. I'll have to check in with you later, but that's pretty much our morning routine. And I found the way to keep this train on the tracks is to make sure the 3-year-old keeps sleeping and the baby keeps sleeping, so that I can just focus on the 2 school kids. If my 3-year-old is up, which he was the first whole week, he would wake up every morning and want to come down with them. And if I did that, it was just a disaster because I was catering to him too, and it took even more time. So keep in mind, this is with 2 kids that are 6 and 7, so they're pretty self-sufficient. So anyway, I would love to hear your morning routines. I know there's so many different types, and I know that a lot of you probably don't send your kids to a private Christian school like I do, but it's still fun to hear others' routines. That's actually how I got into YouTube in the first place. I thought YouTube was for like grainy reruns of TV shows and stuff, and I found a day in the life vlog of a gal over in England, and I was hooked ever since. 6 months later, I was creating my own vlogs, and here I am 6 years after that, still on YouTube. I just love watching other people's lifestyles, especially if they're a little different than mine, because that just makes it more interesting. So when we think of an autumn reset, we often think about resetting our homes, decluttering, organizing. It doesn't feel productive to sit down with a notepad and make a list or strategize, but that's what I want to encourage you to do in today's video. An autumn reset can not just mean that, it can also mean resetting your schedules, your priorities, your rhythms, your speed of your home, and I would argue that it's probably even more impactful than decluttering your basement or whatever project you have sitting there on your to-do list. So be proactive. Think about the days that went well, why they went well, what are your priorities for the day, how can you make sure those 2 or 3 things get done. I would love to sit down with each and every one of you. I've done this with a few friends, but just strategizing on ways to make days flow better so that you can fit in the things that you want. I love systems that help me to simplify my homemaking so I can do the things that I'm actually excited about, like spending time with my kids and doing things that feed the creative side of me. So don't sneeze at the planning and prioritizing phase of an autumn reset. I think it's super important. I will leave a link to my autumn reset printable that I often use when I'm thinking about doing a reset. It's cute, it's pretty, it's effective. It helps you break down the different hats that you wear as a homemaker and a mom and prioritize the things that you really want to get done this season. So I'll leave that link for you guys down below. So something that I have done and have tried to do ever since I was an overwhelmed mom of 3 and just feeling like the walls are closing in and stuff was to try to get out of the house every day, whether that's just outside or doing an activity together. Something for, honestly, I know it's for the kids, but these are things that I myself look forward to. You know, maybe it's trying a new grocery store or going on walking on the trail. Sometimes I would text a friend and we would meet up at a park or go on a walk together. You know, you can pin all the kids in the stroller, get the Strider bike out for the little guys and just go. You know, even just going to the produce stand and then stringing that together with a park or going over to my mom and letting the kids play on the swings. But when school started, I knew I was gonna have to be way more intentional. You know, in the summer, we're just swimming all the time. Like that's the fun hour, you know, after all the work is done. From 12 till nap time is basically the fun that we would squeeze in for the day. I try to have all my housework done by 12. I have tons of other videos on my channel about habits of a highly successful homemaker. That way you can get out of the house and do something fun with the kids. But now since swimming isn't really on the table anymore, it's just been like a pleasant 70 degrees for the last couple of weeks. It's so nice. My 3-year-old really took it hard. I could tell that he was struggling. He was so used to relying on his big brothers and sisters to plan his activities for the day and to stimulate him. And so while I knew it would be good for him, I also felt bad for him, you know? So we sat down together and made a fun menu of basically all the different coffee shops that had play areas. And we have free tickets to a kids play place that we earned through the library. Tiny Town is another one that we have free tickets to. Outdoor library story time happens once a week, so we can do that. now since I'm down to 2 kids, I started going back to a workout class with a big group of people, and the kids can just run around and play and have a little break. And so that's super fun. That's not from 12 to 2, but you know, we move it around, we fit it in, same with the library. But just having a fun menu that we can pull out of our hats and be like, okay, this day we're gonna do this or that. And it might involve socializing, or more often than not, it doesn't, because it's really hard to pin down a time sometimes or know how your day is going to go. So I don't usually text a friend, but that always adds another fun element for me and for the kids too. But yeah, that's just something that I've been learning with down to 2 kids most days. It's been really important to get out of the house and do something fun. And this time of year, the world is your oyster. Oh my goodness, there's so much to do. So I know it's gonna stretch our muscles a little bit more in the winter, and maybe instead of going away, we'll do more craft projects or things like that, baking and stuff. This does flex with the seasons, but I highly recommend grab a pen and a paper and sit down with your 3-year-old, 4-year-old and make a list of all the fun places you like to go. Try to make most of them as free as possible, because if you're doing something every day, it just can't always cost money. Even going to a fun new grocery store that has like the car carts, or you know, a little playground outside or something, can be super fun. The produce stand down the road has a playground that the kids like to play at. Wandering through a greenhouse and talking to them like you're the science teacher, and like, oh, let's talk about butterflies or bees or the spider web we saw. You know, you can turn very ordinary moments into magical, fun memories. And if your kids, your younger kids, are having more outbursts or seem to be struggling more just with this change of going into a different type of year, even if you are a homeschool mom or all your kids are pre-K, you still are probably feeling a little bit of a shift as we're coming into fall here. And just remember, like, us as adults, we don't mind change when we can plan for it, when we know it's coming, when we can strategize and make adjustments ahead of time to make those changes better. But little children don't see it coming often, or they know it's coming, but they don't understand or comprehend that. So just give them some grace. I know it's hard when they're throwing a fit in the parking lot, and it's like, I thought we were over this. I thought they don't do this anymore. I thought that wasn't a problem, and here we are again, you know? It's just tough. And if it's hard for us to process change, think about how much harder it is for little guys who don't even see it coming. So I don't know if that was encouraging at all, but hopefully it gave you a few ideas. And also, I do hear my kids right now, they're playing hide and seek. It's so cute. My 3-year-old thought this up, and I just love it. See, it's so good for him to be an oldest sometimes. Like, part of my heart breaks that we're not all together as a family. And I look to the homeschool moms and I feel like, oh my word, they have it together. But then there's other parts that are like, wow, you know, my 3-year-old gets to be the oldest for a little. He gets to bloom and grow, and it's stretching for him, and it's good. And so I really like that. And even seeing the kids coming home from school, seeing how they are just growing, and like, even the way they talk, just you can tell they're getting input from others, and they're not as stagnant maybe as they were in the summertime, which they're never stagnant, let's be honest. They're learning, growing kids. But anyway, that's just an encouragement for you in whatever season of life you're in. It is a season, and there's good things about that season, and you got to look for them. And then the hard parts, sit down and troubleshoot. Like, sometimes we're just so quick to wallow. This is like an overarching message on my channel. If you've binge watched any of my videos, you're probably sick of hearing me saying this, but don't wallow, troubleshoot. Sit down with a pen and paper and make a plan for how you can combat some of those things. And if all else fails, just figure out a way to get even 1 more hour of sleep at night. I was listening to a psychologist talking, and he's trying to troubleshoot all these things for this mom of 3 kids, 3 and under, and I just kept wanting to scream, she's not getting her sleep. Nothing's gonna work. That's the problem. Like, we need to get the sleep first. And so moms just, we get it. We've all been there. So yeah, be kind to yourself, recognize the season you're in, look for the good parts in it, and acknowledge that you're only here for a season. And the minute you have it figured out, well, they'll have the audacity to turn another year older. So this week not only marked 8 years for myself as a mother, but it was Evonnie's birthday, so it also marked 8 years for my parents and Josh's parents of being grandparents, because Evonnie was the first grandchild on both sides. Josh and I are both the oldest, if you're not familiar, and she had quite the plan for her birthday. Instead of just a birthday party, she wanted to have a sleepover with some friends that are basically like family. And so we invited them over and they had the best time. Evonnie does not have a sister, but she more than made up for it during this 24 hours. They did all kinds of arts and crafts and beauty shop and hair salon. They dressed up like princesses and did skits and plays and ballets, and they had their ballerina costumes out, and they made fancy drinks and charcuterie boards, and she had everything planned from the menu to the activities to the movie night. And I think she had an awesome birthday. It was very nostalgic for me every time she turns another year older, because I feel like I'm also growing up with her. And so what a special time. And as I think back to all of the drama and maybe some of the pain that is accompanied with birthing a child, I am again reminded how important children are and what a blessing they are, what an arrow in our hands they are, that we can send them out into this broken and ugly world and spread God's love and his good news to everybody. It was like I was telling my daughter, it's a way for us to multiply ourselves and to hopefully pass on our values to our children so they can go out and go further and better and farther than we ever could.